Hi everyone and welcome back to episode 3. You're joining me today in one of the fields where we grow barley, and the reason that I'm down here is because I'm just giving it a once over and just having a look at what's going on down here, because in about 2 weeks time, 2 to 3 weeks time, we'll actually be down here with the harvester and cropping this off. During the month of May we use the growth regulator on our barley, and what that does is creates a strong stem on the plant. Now on top of the barley it's got a head on with the grain on that can be quite heavy for a long stem that's not very strong. The regulator slows down the stem growth rate and stops it growing so high so that the heavy head on top of the plant doesn't pull it over. If it were pulled over by the wind or the rain hitting it, for example, your barley then would be laid on the floor. So imagine trying to run a harvester over barley that's flat on the floor. It can be quite a difficult job to do, as you can imagine. So what we want to do is keep that crop nice and strong, regulate the growth, and then when it comes to harvest it, your barley's still standing and nice and strong, and the combine will run through the barley a lot smoother than what it would do if it were laying on the ground. So we use chemicals like regulator to ensure that we have a strong crop when it comes to harvest.
Summer is one of our busiest times. We've obviously got quite a bit of arable land to work us way through. So the start of July sees us basically maintaining as equipment, getting it ready for the long days that we do through harvest. And this week I've been sorting out the combine. Now our combine is about 40 years old, so it's quite an old machine but still efficient, and the beauty of having an old machine like that is that I can still fix it if it breaks down. I don't need a computer to mend it, it's fairly cheap to mend. So yeah, one of the jobs that really did need doing was some welding on the what we call the bed at the front. This is where it cuts the crop just above the floor and takes it up into the combine. Last year, just through basic wear and tear, some pieces of metal had worn away and then bent, and it was digging soil up. So I've cut some new pieces and I've welded them underneath. The bed basically skids on those and keeps it running along the top of the floor. So I've welded those on. I've greased it all up, and then I've set everything going that would ordinarily be running when we're harvesting, just to have a look to make sure all the belts are tight, to make sure there's no bearings squeaking, just a general look over really to make sure it's working as it should be, which it is. So in a fortnight's time, towards end of July, we'll be ready for cutting. As barley, we sent the drone over the other day just to have a look to see what it looked like from above, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. It's all still standing, and with the recent rain and wind that we've had, we're fairly lucky. I know a few people around and about haven't been as lucky. Theirs has sort of started falling over, so we've been quite lucky. So all this barley that we're going to cut in the next few weeks is for pig feed. So we'll be saving that. We'll be milling it through us own roller mill and feeding it to us sows, and then the wheat and the beans we sell out to grain merchants basically.
The sheep are also back on the hill after having a little holiday in front of the house, so they've gone back up there now. So I'm just going to head over and just show you where they are. So they're back on grazing the grass, and they're still on their sheep ration, which they get 2 times a day, 500 grams each. So we have to weigh that out and put that in a nice trough for them. So as you can see, the girls are behind me. I think they're having a bit of a play actually. They're probably more interested in the fact that they think it's tea time, but they're not getting fed just yet. It's just too early. Or they're coming to check what I'm doing on their patch. They've now come back onto the hill as well, so they've got... Hello? They've got a lot more grass to eat as well on here, and of course the ration that they're still continuing to get. They're looking in really good shape as well. They're really healthy and really inquisitive. If you remember Reggie, who we had on Good Friday, he's just here at the side of me seeing what I'm doing. It was our baby goat. So he now lives with the sheep as well, so they all live together. And as you can see, they're all really friendly. They're all just inquisitive, seeing what I'm doing, asking for the food probably. So yeah, they're happy, they're on the hill, they've eaten plenty of grass, and of course they're being sheared, which we showed in one of our previous videos. So yeah,